What's up, y'all? It's me, it's your boy Asmongold, and this is something I've wanted to do for a real long time, and we're doing it right now. And basically, I'm going to be doing challenge mode guides, and this is going to be the first one. This is Mogu'Shan Palace, and it's going to be from a rogue perspective, but I'm going to go over everything you need to know from a melee perspective. Hopefully, if I have enough time, I will be able to do one from every dungeon from all three perspectives and maybe some multiple classes depending. I'm just going to record all of them and voice them over and see what we can do. So the first thing you want to do here is obviously okay, the 2-packs here. I'm going to pull them, and I'm going to pull them to the pack in the middle of the hallway. Now, if the pat comes around at the first pack in the main hallway, whenever you walk in there, wait for it to leave. Now here, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be controlling the storm guys, the casters, while also avoiding the whirlwinds from the melee guys. Now, they cast whirlwind, so getting hit by it is completely your fault. Now, I actually did get hit by it once in the second pull, which is a personal mistake. So make sure that you don't do the same thing that I did, but I actually still lived. It wasn't even a big deal. But as you can see here, we control this very easily, and I think this is kind of a pretty good run. Now, as you guys may notice, I don't know how to play my rogue. I'm a fucking retard whenever I play my rogue. So please do not comment and tell me that I don't know how to play, because trust me, I already know. So pretty much as soon as you clear the first pull of the 2 mobs, or 2 packs, then you go to this 5 pull here. Now, there is a possibility that you can do all 3 pulls at the same time, but the odds are if you can do that, you've probably already gotten the challenge mode gear to begin with. So I'm going to be going over pretty much very easy strats. And as you can see, if you didn't notice, our tank moved ahead, and he actually started the encounter for the first boss. And so now we're going to kill everything here to where our healer can drink, and the RP event is already almost over. And so this is going to lower our downtime between the trash mobs to the boss. And the first boss is always going to be this guy with his, I don't know, like stone guard guy with him, the Quel'Thuzad? Yeah, Quel'Thuzad. Quel'Thuzad with him. There's not really much you have to worry about with this guy. He's going to do 2 different abilities. He's going to do a shockwave, and his Quel'Thuzad is going to target a player and basically stun them for 8 seconds and do a little bit of damage. The way that you deal with that is if it's on your healer, obviously your tank pops a personal cooldown, and if it's on a DPS, you pretty much just, I don't know, it's a little bit slower to kill. A fun fact is you can bop this off. So if he casts Ravage, which is the stun on a player, at least as far as I know, you can bop it off. And so as soon as you get each of these guys to about, I'd say about 10%, they submit. And then after that, you're going to be fighting this guy here. I think his name is Ming. And basically, he does 3 different abilities. The first ability he's going to do is he's going to be casting a lightning bolt or lightning ball. And there's not really much you can do about that. You can spell reflect it if you're able to, but you cannot interrupt it. Besides that, he also casts a whirling tornado that does a pretty good amount of damage, and you need to avoid that. And whenever at a certain point, if you kill him slowly, he'll also cast a magnetic field around himself to where you get close. And honestly, if you're getting the magnetic field, you probably need to reevaluate how you're playing and what you're doing, because you're not doing enough DPS. You should never really get a magnetic field. And as you can see, like, we absolutely just demolished him there. But if you do get a magnetic field, you need to, because he pulls everybody in, you need to run away from him so it doesn't do damage. After we kill him, we circle around to the back to where the chest spawns. And the reason we do that is so there's less downtime between us killing this boss and us moving to the next boss. And this boss casts 3 different abilities. He casts a Mortal Strike on your tank. He casts Conflagrate, which is not supposed to go on your tank, but it went on our tank and he killed our shaman, which is pretty stupid. But luckily it was a shaman, and so he had, he had Onk. And Conflagrate, whenever somebody gets targeted by Conflagrate, you need to run away from them because it can spread, because that's the way Conflagrate buff functions. He also does Meteor. He always does Conflagrate first, then Meteor. So after Conflagrate happens, everybody should stack up. We killed him before he cast Meteor. Meteor does not do that much damage, but everybody should be stacked up anyway just to mitigate it. As soon as that happens, you stand on top of the where the 4 is going to drop out, and then you run ahead here. Now this is going to be something that's pretty difficult to do, and by the way, you do want to have your 18-second invisibility potions. As you can see there, it's on my bar all the way to the right, a second from the right. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to aggro the scout, and I'm going to vanish. This is going to allow the mobs over there that just came down here to not engage us, and then we're all going to move down here as a group and basically use pack and our invis potions to move all the way up and start Gekking without having to deal with any of the trash. Now this is actually something that sometimes doesn't work because you don't have enough speed boosts. Now if it doesn't work, what you need to do is basically you need to kill the pack of Hexers that's right ahead of you. And I actually thought that we weren't going to make it. It was a miracle that we made it. We made it by so little. And anyway, as you guys can see, those are the Hexers there, and I just invised there with my regular stealth. And then you jump down here against this pillar, and you can jump down there without aggroing Gekking. At this point, what we did, just to be safe, is we CC'd the caster on the other side. If you're a Death Knight, what you can do is you can grip them across, and basically so you can aggro all of them. And at which point, we basically grouped them all up next to the, I think it's the Hexer, and we focused down the Ironhide. Now, the reason for that is so we could do maximum DPS and not have to worry about the interrupts. Basically, the Ironhide casts a debuff, and it can be stopped by either interrupting him, even though it's not a cast. If you press an interrupt on him, his shield that he puts on the other people in like Gekking's party or whatever will go away. And so if you interrupt him or stun him, it would get rid of it. Now as you can see, we killed him, and now we're focusing on the Hexer. As soon as we can, as the Hexer, kill the Hexer, we're going to move over to the other side of the room so we can kill the Oracle and cleave that down with Gekking. Now, the best way to do this is obviously having them all together, but it's very hard to do. Chrono, we didn't really think of this. Chrono, our elemental shaman, could have thunderstormed the Oracle over, but again, we were not. This was our first try on it, and this is just kind of a pug group that I came together with, and so I'm just kind of explaining like pretty much what needs to happen here. Now, obviously, in terms of cooldowns, I don't really know exactly when you want to use your cooldowns. I think it depends on what class you are, because Gekking at the end will take significantly more damage. He'll take like 200% extra damage because he casts an ability called Reckless Inspiration on on himself and on everything else as soon as something dies. Now, as soon as you kill Gekking, you need to run up here and CC these two oracles. And while you're CCing the oracles, your healer can get a drink. And I told him not to drink up there. And I will actually include the commentary. I'll leave it like as like a private video, or maybe I might just put it up. And the actual like what I'm actually telling people, and so people can actually hear like exactly like our thinking as we're going through this, and maybe that'll help you guys, and hopefully it will. So basically, you have to get over there as quick as you can for the elevator. And this is where being a rogue, the one time in being a rogue in challenge modes is actually useful. Now, there's a pack up here, and it's very hard to avoid, and you have to tiptoe around them because you have to wait for them to get right to the edge there and finish their pat right there. I did a cut and recut. But anyway, what I'm doing is I'm using Shroud of Concealment, so we can just walk right around them, and it's not even a big deal. Now, I don't know what the hunter was doing here. I thought he was going to aggro them. I flipped out right there. And right there, see, this is something that's not in heroic. There's a pack of 3 high guards, and so you need to be paying attention to those as soon as you get around that first pack, and making sure you don't aggro them because you do not need them for the mob count. Now, as soon as you do that, as soon as they're gone, you pull this group of high guards, and I think that these are very easy to deal with, and so in all groups that I play with, I have them pull that along with the group up here. Now the pack up here, what you need to watch out for again is the caster. As you can see in a second here, I run over to the caster and I start to lock him down to make sure he doesn't cast the molten spinny thing. And as you can see, there he is. It's interrupted and taken care of. This is very, like, we did this very cleanly, and we did it very well, okay? And at this point, we're basically just cleaving them all down. The high guards put an armor debuff on the tank, and so if you're a tank, you need to be kiting those away. They're very dangerous. Now, as soon as you kill all of those, you need to stack up, and it's important that you stack up here whenever you fight the Quillins. The reason that you stack up is because the Quillins do a pounce, okay? And if they're pouncing like 10 inches, it's not going to matter because the damage that they're doing to the tank, and also nobody ever has to stop their damage, and it just kind of keeps them all in one place and controlled, and also allows you to better CC them. They stack a dot up onto the tank that stacks to 5, and it does a lot of damage, and so healers need to be paying attention to that, and it's a physical debuff, so you can't like dispel it or anything like that. It's a bleed. And as soon as you kill them, we opted, because we were very ahead on time, we opted to just take a second here and let our healer get mana and just completely recover to where we could handle this boss 100%. And basically, I'll explain that in a second. Basically, this boss is the same as it is in Heroic. And if anybody's familiar with doing the achievement, what does this button do? There's as you can see, I'm facing the boss right here. To the right, front right, and the back left, there's going to be 2 crystals that spawn, and whenever he activates his crossbow trap, which is at 35% health, we're both going to click those. You see me fail there? That's because I was thinking about the crossbow trap. Basically, what I'm going to do at 35% is have the 2 ranged in our group click it at the same time, which is going to basically not only shut off a lot of his different abilities that he's doing, or his different traps, but it's also going to allow us to basically make him take 10% more damage. And he also takes, like, I don't know, he takes like 300, 400, 500k damage. And so it's always very effective to do that. As you see, there's a crossbow trap, and you're going to see 2 lines, as you see, and they're running over there now. And so you're going to see, and as you can see, there it knocked him down. It does not interrupt his cast, by the way. And basically, this boss is probably the hardest heroic boss to do. Is the only one you can really wipe on. But especially if you use the trap, as I said, it shuts off his crossbow trap, and it also shuts off his stream of blades, so it makes it easier to move around the room. But as you can see, this is actually a very difficult one, and it requires a lot of finesse. And so, you know, for most groups, this is one of the harder ones, and I was actually very surprised this was easy for us. And so hopefully this helps you guys. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns about how I did the achievements, and or how I did this challenge mode or whatever, just go ahead and ask me and I can explain them. But anyway, that's pretty much all for now. So thanks for watching, and like, comment, subscribe.